This evening, first, scandal at the top. Deputy Commissioner of Police Calvin Brutus faces 201 additional charges, bringing the total bail to over $19 million. We'll unpack the financial crime allegations that have rocked the Ghana police force. Plus, heartbreaking tragedy. An 11-month-old girl loses her life in a devastating house fire in Cummins Park, Sophia. What caused the blaze and how can families prevent similar tragedies? Also, fatal altercation. A chainsaw operator is stabbed to death along the Suicide-Linden Highway following a barroom brawl. 4 suspects, including a minor, are in custody. We have the latest details. And strengthening national security. The Ghana Defense Force unveils 2 new aircraft as part of its modernization efforts. Prime Minister Mark Phillips shares what it means for Ghana's defense strategy. Finally, Super Typhoon Mani. A humanitarian crisis unfolds in the Philippines with over 650,000 displaced after the latest typhoon wreaked havoc. We'll bring you the global impact of this devastating storm. Stay tuned for these stories and more coming up on Headline News Update. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for November 18th, 2024. I am Bibi Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, Deputy Commissioner of Police Acting Calvin Brutus was slapped with an additional 201 charges for libel of an official when he appeared at the Georgetown Magistrates Court earlier today, Monday, November 18th. Brutus was not required to plead to the charges, and bail was set at $50,000 for each charge, totaling over $10 million. He is scheduled to appear in court again on January 17, 2025 for these new charges. In the same court session, reports and statements for Brutus's co-accused, his wife, Adonica Alder, his driver, Sergeant Kevin George, and businessman Asif Zafarali were expected. However, the necessary statements were not available. As a result, the prosecution requested more time, and all parties have been asked to return to court on December 18, 2024. Brutus is also expected to reappear on that date for the first 31 charges he faces. In October, Brutus, his pregnant wife, his driver, and a businessman were placed on bail totaling $9.1 million after they faced a slew of charges, the majority of which were financial crimes of hundreds of millions of dollars against the Ghana police force. A tragic fire in Cummins Park, Georgetown, claimed the life of an 11-month-old girl and left her family homeless. Malcolm Carter has this heartbreaking report.
On Saturday, a devastating fire tore through a small home in Cummins Park, E-Fields Fire Reserve, Georgetown, claiming the life of a 11-month-old Melvina Angel Blair. The fire, which erupted around 11:18 a.m., left the family shattered, grieving the loss of their child, and left them homeless. The blaze engulfed the family's tiny wooden home, reducing it to ashes along with all of their belongings. Despite the frantic efforts of neighbors who tried to control the fire with buckets of water, it spread too quickly, offering the family no chance to escape. Tragically, little Melvina lost her life in the flames. Her older brother, aged 6, was rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital with third-degree burns. Emergency services arrived at the scene, but by the time they got there, it was too late to save the home or prevent the heartbreaking loss. Preliminary investigations suggest the fire was caused by children playing with matches and igniting nearby materials in the house. The children's mother, Tanisha Israel, was working just a few houses away at the time, leaving her children aged 6, 4, and 2, and the 1-year-old unsupervised when the fire broke out. The tragedy has not only devastated the Blair family, but has left the entire Cummins Park community in mourning. In the wake of this tragedy, the Ghana Fire Service urges all parents and guardians to take fire safety seriously. They stress the importance of fire extinguishers and smoke detectors, and educating children with the dangers of fire, especially in the homes with young children. Reporting for Headline News Update, Malcolm Carter.
Thanks, Malcolm. Police are investigating the alleged murder of 40-year-old chainsaw operator Devanan Hosea, whose body was discovered early Sunday morning along the Suicide-Linden Highway. 4 suspects, including a minor, are now in custody. The incident occurred near Hillfoot Suicide-Linden Highway after a series of events involving an altercation at a bar. According to reports, Jose and his brother Levon were at the Rago Sports Bar on the Suicide Public Road on Saturday night when a group of men allegedly robbed him of his valuables. A confrontation escalated into a brawl, prompting the brothers to flee. The assailants pursued them, ultimately catching up with Devanan, who sustained multiple stab wounds to his face, abdomen, and chest. He collapsed and was pronounced dead on arrival at the Diamond Diagnostic Center. CCTV footage from the bar captured the fight involving the deceased and the suspects. An intelligence-led operation resulted in the arrest of 24-year-old Kevin Grandstewart of Victory Valley Road, Tamiri. He was arrested with a black Rambo knife. 21-year-old Rodwell Fraser of Victory Valley Road, Tamiri, 25-year-old Dwayne Bascom of Car Linden, and a 16-year-old from Victory Valley Road, Tamiri, who was arrested with the deceased man's cell phone. The suspects are assisting with the investigation as police await a post-mortem examination. Stick around when we return. Prime Minister commissions new aircraft for GDF's Air Corps, and police investigating alleged armed robbery and sexual assault in Linden.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables. We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. Here's credit. And today, all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick peas powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Sneak early with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Current smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Middle Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Police in Regional Division 10 are on the hunt for a 6-foot-tall male for a reported armed robbery and sexual assault that occurred early this morning at a home in Amelia's Ward, Linden. The victim, a 42-year-old housewife, was allegedly attacked at approximately 1:30 a.m. The suspect, described as a 6-foot-tall male with a slim build, was reportedly wearing blue shorts and a short-sleeved blue shirt. According to the victim, she had retired to bed around 8:30 p.m. the previous evening but forgot to lock her back door. Around 1:30, she awoke to find the man in her house. He threatened her with a knife, demanding cash and jewelry. When the victim told him she had no money, the suspect became enraged and sexually assaulted her. Afterwards, the man continued to demand valuables, and in fear for her life, the victim handed over several items, including gold jewelry and cash, totaling approximately $660,000. The suspect then fled the scene on foot through the back door. Police responded promptly, processed the scene, and reviewed nearby CCTV footage for leads. Investigations are ongoing and authorities are searching for the suspect. A domestic dispute in Mahaica, East Coast Demerara, ended tragically as a young couple died after a violent altercation. Malcolm Carter has more details.
Tragedy struck in Mahaica, East Coast Demerara after a domestic dispute turned deadly, leaving a young couple dead. 28-year-old Tagwanti Moti succumbed to injuries sustained during a brutal attack by her reputed husband, 26-year-old Aram Anil Dorbasa. According to police, the incident occurred last Thursday around 9 p.m. in Moti's yard at Supply Mahaica. An argument reportedly escalated, during which Dorbas attacked Moti with a cutlass, inflicting two grievous wounds, one to her neck and the other to her arm, before he ingested a poisonous substance. Both individuals were rushed to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where Dorbasa died on Friday while receiving treatment. Moti succumbed to her injuries the following day. Police investigations have revealed that the couple lived separately, with Dorbasa residing in Belmont, Mahaica. Authorities continue to probe the circumstances leading to the fatal encounter. This tragic incident highlights the devastating consequences of domestic violence and the urgent need for intervention and support in such cases. If you or anyone you know is a victim of any form of abuse, call the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security 914 hotline for help. Reporting for Headline News Update, Malcolm Carter.
Thanks, Malcolm. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips commissioned 2 aircraft into the Ghana Defence Force Air Corps fleet at Air Station London to Mary on Saturday. The aircraft, acquired from India earlier this year, represents a key advancement in the government's initiative to modernize the Ghana Defence Force. In his remarks, Prime Minister Phillips emphasized that the commissioning is part of a broader strategy to transform the GDF into a modern, versatile institution capable of tackling a wide range of challenges, including border security, disaster response, and medical evacuations in remote areas. He noted the aircraft brings advanced capabilities that strengthen Ghana's security posture and enhance our ability to respond to national challenges. The Prime Minister added that the modernization of GDF is a national imperative to safeguard our sovereignty and ensure the safety and well-being of all citizens. The commissioning also underscores the growing strategic partnership between Ghana and India. Prime Minister Phillips expressed gratitude to the Government of India for its continued support, highlighting the importance of this collaboration in strengthening Ghana's defense capabilities. Don't go away after the break. G20 summit in Brazil, Trump's re-election will affect political discussions, and Venezuela frees more than 100 arrested after disputed election results.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, Lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Furnishing your home or office has never been easier. Here at Kissoon's, our inventory of locally made and imported furniture, offered at amazing prices, will leave you wanting more. From vinyl, floor rugs and carpets, bedroom, dining and living room sets, mattresses, pillows, office desk, chairs and filing cabinets, outdoor benches and tables, We have a piece of furniture for every room imaginable in your home or office. Check out our flagship store at Industrial Site Rijnveld or one of our branches in New Amsterdam, Port Morant, Riverton, and Camp Street. Kissoon's Furniture, furnishing homes for over 50 years.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. He is Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boiling high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radica went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Sneakily with a gift of sight from Modern Optical Services. Let our professional team examine and prescribe what's best for your eyes. Current smiles make fashionable faces. See us for a full line of optical services, including brand name and prescription eyewear. Modern Optical Services, 316 Mill Street, Georgetown. Telephone 226-1082.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world.
Good evening, I'm Malcolm Carter and welcome to tonight's regional and international news. In South America, Venezuelan authorities have released 107 political prisoners detained after July's contested presidential election, according to rights group Foro Penal. Over 1,800 protesters were arrested during mass demonstrations following Nicolas Maduro's disputed re-election, widely rejected internationally. Protesters faced charges such as terrorism and incitement to hatred. Videos showed released prisoners receiving cheers from supporters. Officials' results claimed Maduro won 52% of the vote, but opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez argued he had clear evidence of victory, sharing detailed voting tallies online. The Electoral Council cited data corruption for not publishing records. Gonzalez has since sought asylum in Spain. Meanwhile, leaders of the world's biggest economies are heading to Brazil for the annual meeting of the G20 on today. The war in Ukraine, climate change, and trade will be front and center, and without a doubt, there will also be lots of talk about someone who isn't there, President-elect Donald Trump. Al Jazeera's diplomatic editor James Bays reports.
As leaders arrive in this huge seaside city, they are aware that although the formal agenda for their meetings was fixed long ago, the focus of everything changed dramatically in recent days. The election of Donald Trump to serve as US President again from the 20th of January will affect all the countries represented here, the G20 nations and the other 19 countries that have been invited by their Brazilian host. President Luiz Inácio da Silva has a very different political and economic agenda from Trump and has long spoken about reform of the global financial system to help developing nations. The G20 will be held as the COP29 climate negotiations continue in Azerbaijan, with Trump certain to pull out of the Paris Climate Treaty for a second time. Brazil is set to take over the COP presidency next year. President Putin is not coming to Rio and is sending his foreign minister Sergei Lavrov instead. But there'll be plenty of discussion about the war in Ukraine, where Trump has pledged to force a peace treaty, perhaps by making Ukraine give up its claims to parts of its territory.
As we go through this transition, it will be our responsibility as the national security team to lay out for the incoming team both what we see and, in terms of the current situation, and how we believe that the United States of America, through this transition and beyond, can put Ukraine in the strongest possible position on the battlefield so that it's in the strongest possible position at the negotiating table for an ultimate deal.
Israel's continuing bombardment of Gaza and Lebanon will be important topics too. Is there any hope of a ceasefire? It's unclear what policy Trump will pursue, but his relationship with Prime Minister Netanyahu is strong and very friendly. The two most powerful men in the world attend the G20, fresh from their meeting at the APEC summit in Peru. President Joe Biden is a diminished figure politically, a lame duck with just over 2 months left in office, while President Xi Jinping of China is also facing difficulties, uncertainty about what the Trump administration will do, with fears there will be even more punishing tariffs on his country's products. James Bayes, Al Jazeera, Rio de Janeiro.
Internationally, volunteers have made little progress in rescuing hundreds of illegal miners trapped in a disused gold mine in South Africa's northwest province. Police say at least 3 people have been brought to the surface, Al Jazeera's Harun Matusa reports.
Police in South Africa wait outside this mine shaft in Stilfontein, where people are believed to be trapped underground. They insist this show of force is only to prevent crime.
We have never, under any situation, blocked any shaft. I think it's quite impossible, you can see for yourself, to block this type of a shaft. We have maintained that we are implementing our strategy, which is to firstly prevent illegal miners from going down there to continue with illicit mining activities.
One minister said the operation, called Close the Hole, is meant to smoke out the miners from the mine shaft. Families of those underground say around 4,000 are down there. The police say hundreds.
You know, we've been here and pulling these people out from the ground. The police have been doing nothing but to just watch and wait for these weak people to come out, and then they take them and throw them at the back of their vans. So we expect them to really cooperate and adhere to the court order. Otherwise, if they don't, we are really going to have problems.
The South African government says it's working on a plan to bring the illegal miners to the surface. This is the entrance to the mine, and it's a long drop down there. It's believed hundreds of people are stuck underground, and community volunteers have been pulling them up one by one. The standoff has been going on for weeks, and no one's sure how long it'll take before it ends. Harun Matusa, Al Jazeera, Stilfontein, South Africa.
Finally, Super Typhoon Man-yi has caused significant damage in the Philippines. More than 650,000 people have fled their homes. This is the latest in a string of typhoons to make landfall in the archipelago, Al Jazeera's Ibtisam Gofong reports.
For Filipinos, this may be starting to feel like routine. But it's no less frightening. Typhoon Man-yi crashed into the Catanduanes Islands on Saturday. It flooded streets, knocked over power lines, and tore the roofs off buildings. This is the 4th storm to hit the archipelago in 2 weeks.
We evacuated because every time there's a typhoon, the water rises in the river nearby. We have children with us, and we're scared. That's why we evacuated.
Typhoons are common in the Philippines, but not like this. Back-to-back, high in intensity, and so late in the year. The Japan Meteorological Agency says it's unprecedented. And it's not over yet. Officials warn the ground is saturated, raising the risk of landslides in some areas.
We strengthened some of the houses, their roofing, their wall. Like hundreds of families have been protected that way. The Philippine Red Cross, they have activated their network of volunteers. Philippine Red Cross have more than 500,000 volunteers all around the country, and that network has been activated completely.
Preparations can only avoid the worst, not reverse the trend. This region is one of the world's most vulnerable to climate change-related hazards. Climate scientists say ocean temperatures have never been this warm, meaning storms produce more rain and stronger winds. Typhoon Man-yi has also made landfall on the main Philippine island of Luzon. Forced to leave their homes, hundreds of thousands of people are waiting out the storm in evacuation shelters, hoping there'll be something left when they return. Ibtisam Genfood, Al Jazeera.
Thanks, Malcolm. This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV 2 headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.